Omelette du fromage.
And so,
Hello.
that's when she told me that, if I put $1 in, I would get 1 million back.
You're not meant to put money in the coochie.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's what I said.
You're
I was like,
supposed to swipe your nose like a credit card.
Oh my. Everything else is MasterCard?
Yes.
and that's in the recording now.
Mr. Xenogelion, we have brought you here today before this fine court for you to account for your deepest hate watches and guiltiest pleasures. We are likely to regret the tales you are about to unfold, but here we are.
I'm likely to regret telling them.
What anime would you not recommend binge watching? And this is not to suggest that the anime itself is bad, but that binge watching is not the best method of consumption.
This is difficult. I mean, like, part of the problem is that so much anime is only really consumable via binge watching. Having that week space in between is difficult to... Oh god, what am I thinking here?
Clearly, Dragon Ball Z is you really want to watch that on a week-to-week basis. So those Namek episodes just take forever.
I was actually thinking more on the lines of One Piece. To get the true experience of One Piece, you really have to watch it on a week-to-week basis. Even though there's like 1,000 episodes, even one a day, that's just too much One Piece. You gotta really break it down. The only one I can think of that you shouldn't binge watch realistically is something like Death Note, but the answer to that really is you don't watch it at all. So, I mean, I don't know if that counts or not.
I was
have a
thinking like Promise Neverland, like do not binge watch.
Oh, what? Because it's just too heavy. It's like there's just okay. So something that's Made in Abyss. Yeah, you can't just binge watch all the Made in Abyss because that's too heavy. Some people say Goblin Slayer, but to be honest, I can't get enough of me.
I have a question about anime that you have regretted watching purely on the art style alone. Has there ever been the case?
Yes, there has been.
Remember Rusted Armor with that looks like poop?
Oh my god. So, Rusted Armor, I don't know what they were thinking, but effectively it's, you know those traditional cartoon strips from comics, from morning newspapers, like Garfield or whatever, and the background is about as detailed as a newspaper. Basically, imagine that as the background for all of the footage of Rusted Armor, and then horrible CG characters for the foreground. It's like the contrast between the two is just so off kilter. It just doesn't know what bad.
It's so uncanny valley.
It's so
weird.
And then there's X-Arm. Dear fucking god, I've not actually watched X-Arm, but I have seen footage of X-Arm. Oh my god! I don't know where they learned how to animate mouths. Apparently, it was the first time the studio had looked into doing anime. All their other experiences were video games.
I thought you were gonna say it was the first time the studio had looked at a human.
Well, I mean, like, borderline there. And then there's some adult stuff that's that's better animated than fucking X-Arm. Then there's Cat Soup. Oh dear god, Cat Soup. Just no. I couldn't finish that movie. That was a bad movie.
So, Tenchi Muyo tells the story of a boy whose life is invaded by chaotic aliens obsessed with our protagonist. A feeling that he never really returns with him. So for change of pace, they brought us a standard love story in the form of Tenchi and Tokyo. Was this enough to ruin the rest of the series for you?
Oh, fuck yes. Oh, fucking hell, yes. I think the worst one was Tenchi Forever, which was the third movie. They weirdly sort of like rotoscoped style animated the whole thing. Tenchi didn't look like Tenchi. Ryoko looked really weird, and it was just wrong. It was just wrong on so many different levels. And Tenchi Tokyo, like, it wasn't as far as Tenchi Forever, but this is horrible. This is trash. Why does this exist? I don't understand. Make it go away.
Which anime that you have seen has the worst dubbing issues? And I'm talking issues that make you cringe the most.
So not ghost stories.
So why'd they close off the tunnel anyway?
Years ago, people went in there, but they didn't come out. Not unlike your sister.
Hey man, let's get off the sisters. Especially since I just got off of yours.
Which anime?
I have one. I can't go back and watch the English dub of Utena because it's just the worst.
Oh, Ante, what's the big idea, Nanami? I'm going to prove I'm not like her.
I tried to watch the Black Butler dub, and the moment the maid character opens her mouth and lets out the worst Cockney accent I have ever fucking heard, I just turned it off.
At least Elizabeth isn't here. I would never want her seeing me like this.
Oh, that dress is so adorable. You do all the dresses here? They're lovely.
No, I can't do this to my eardrums.
Oh, okay. This is going old school now. I absolutely love this anime. We're talking Tekkaman Blade, right? The original English dub of this series called it Technoman, and the biggest problem with the dub was how they horrifically butchered the plot. 8 episodes towards the end were just not included at all. They just skipped them because they ran out of budget to redub it. Not only that, they changed like all of the just really poignant moments. So basically the protagonist, the main protagonist, he knows he is trying to prevent the enemy faction from taking over Earth. That's all he remembers. And they call him D-Boy. But in the English dub, they call him Blade. And it's just like, he doesn't know who he is. They changed characters' genders. They changed massive plot elements. But the most egregious thing, right, that they did was effectively they narrated the transformation sequence. So, and basically, you know, and Blade summoned the powers, the cosmic powers through time and space of the Technoman.
With the amazing power of his emerald techno-crystal, which calls upon the universal forces of time and space, Blade is endowed with impenetrable armor, quantum energy weapons, and superhuman powers, transforming him into the warrior superhero known as Technoman!
And it was just like, this is not needed! This was never needed! Why did you do... And every fucking episode, they have this transformation sequence, and they always fucking included that fucking narration. It's like, why? Why did you do this to me? Yeah, that one bad. And I love that anime, but fuck me, that was bad.
I have a question about kind of regretting, but non-regrets. So sometimes in shows, there tends to be season 1 can be a bit rough. Has there been any anime show where season 1 was really bad, but you powered through it, and then season 2 made it all the worthwhile?
Okay, so a lot of people probably won't agree with me on this one. I felt that way with ReZero. The first season of ReZero, it started off really well for like the first few episodes, but then the rest of the first season ain't as good as the first few episodes. But I kept watching it and everything, mostly because I was binge watching it, and you know, I could easily get on with it and things. And honestly, if you just watch Gigux ReZero in a nutshell, that pretty much explains like the whole of the first season. Really, but the second season, oh dear God, the second season is so fucking good, right? It's just like, oh man, there's so many tie-ins, plot elements and everything that it really starts to interweave the whole narrative of the world setting and everything. It's so goddamn good. But like the first season is just like, yeah, unlike Sword Art Online, which is just bad all the way through.
Given your stance on many of the Miyazaki films, if they announced tomorrow that a new one by the man himself, and, you know, not his son who can't seem to make a good anime to save his life, would you still watch it even though you'd have a decent chance of not, you know, 100% enjoying it?
Was Arrietty his or his son's? I thought it was his.
I don't think I've even seen that one.
It's basically The Borrowers, and it's just like, can you stop ruining our stuff, please? I would kind of love to see Miyazaki's take on something like Reaper Man or Soul Music or like some of the death-related Terry Pratchett books, or even The Watch or anything like that. You know, I just love to see Miyazaki's, because I think Miyazaki's head would explode, and either the Japanese are going to love it and the British are going to hate it, or vice versa. But it really, really depends on the source material. Like, I love Princess Mononoke. I love The Cat Returns. I love Howl's Moving Castle. I even love like Poco Rosso, and more of the older stuff. But like, there's so many pretentious ones coming out now, and I just can't stomach it.
I've got something very important to tell you. It's, well, look, while I've got you, let me just remind you to make sure you hit the like button and turn on notifications, because maybe YouTube will actually use those. Speaking of YouTube, with ad support being what it is, if you'd like to see the show improve even more, consider heading over to patreon.com/Xenogelion. And if you like listening to Xeno rant about anime, head over to youtube.com/Compicast to find out what harem anime he's watching now. Oh yeah, remember now, while you're watching, make sure you keep an eye out for the golden...
Is there a harem anime that you've regretted watching, yet you still felt yourself compelled to see where it was going?
Oh god. Oh god.
Have I triggered something?
So yes, I am a degenerate. I'm a weeb, right? Yes, I like my harem anime. There's one I'm just not going to bother mentioning, but Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World. Oh my fucking god. The main male protagonist makes a fuck palace. So Loz and I were watching it, and he basically he has his first servant, and like, oh, we can't keep fooling around in this inn. We should have our own home. And like, no word of a lie, the biggest room in the entire building is basically the only bedroom in the entire building. So yeah, Loz and I just coined it. It's the fuck palace. He is there to plow, and yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And it's called Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, right? He doesn't get his second female character until like the fucking 11th episode of the series. You can't call it a harem if there's only one female protagonist. It doesn't.
It's called a startup.
It's called a startup.
Oh my god.
The world setting's really good, and the main isekai protagonist, he's really cautious because like there are really high stakes, like people die really easily, so he's really cautious about it, and that's really, really cool. But the problem is, it's just like, are you gonna go adventuring anytime soon? It's like, no. I got my fuck palace. I mean, he's got his priorities straight.
I mean, you need to go outside sometime. Touch some grass.
I mean, he's touching something.
Has there been any show that you really liked, but then there were moments of fan service that ruined it for you?
No.
No and.
I genuinely can't think of any. But maybe I'm just too blind to. Maybe I've been desensitized to the whole thing. I've watched too much anime, and now it's just like, I mean, the thing that really gets me now is like bad animation. Again, I got one in front of me, which is Fruit of Evolution. Like, you watch the intro, and one character who turns to look away, she morphs into an entirely different person. That's how bad the animation was. I'm like, yeah, just.
Didn't Bastard push the envelope a little bit for...
Oh,
no, as far as you were concerned?
You're right. The misogyny in Bastard was too much for me, and I had to stop watching it. I completely blanked that the fuck out.
Too traumatized.
I could, like, he fucking a girl, and she's into it.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. There's other stuff. It's really, really bad.
Like, it's just, he basically, she uses an illusion to sort of trap him and kill him and things, but he put an illusion around her before she realized, and as a result, he then her. And it doesn't outwardly explicitly state it, but that's basically what happened. And they try to sugarcoat it and say like, oh, but this is a Shonen Jump anime, and like, this shouldn't be happening. Why are you fucking doing it? Yeah, it's just as bad as Ducks.
You rated the first Full Metal Alchemist as well as Evangelion at a 3. You also rated Love Hina as a 3, and yet you've seemingly watched most if not all incarnations of it. Is it safe to say that you hate it as much as you hate Eva, but you're just a hopeless slice of life addict?
Well, clearly when I rated those, I was a moron, and they should all be -1. That's how fucking bad they are.
Was a moron?
Wow. I thought this was called Notice Me Senpai. I mean, like, I don't know any better, okay? Leave me alone.
We can't leave you alone. There's 2 more questions to ask you.
Oh, dear God.
What characteristics of anime protagonists make you want to ugly cry at night? Name at least 3.
Fucking Gary Stu bullshit. I hate it when the main protagonist is just so fucking overpowered that they don't even try to win at a fight. It's just, no, I've already won. Like, I just, like, you know, snap my fingers and, like, okay, fine. You have characters like Anos Voldigold, which he was a fucking Sigma Chad at 1 month old in the Misfit of Demon Academy. Or was it Demon King Academy? Demon King? I don't know. And he killed someone with his heartbeat and then resurrected them only to kill them again. So yeah, he was a complete Chad. But like characters that are just like completely fucking OP. Oh no, what's worse? Characters that quote unquote act smart, but they do the most retarded things. Like these actions are so goddamn brain damaged. It is just dumb.
If you think hard enough that I have telepathy, I have telepathy.
Oh god, that was another bad one. It's when characters are written smart, but the author was not smart themselves. That's a painful one. And the third thing. Okay. Here's one. I can understand when it comes to the era of like Tenshi Muyo, where Tenshi, a regular human, looks like your everyday character. Then we move on a bit. We've got Ichigo. Ichigo has bright fucking orange hair. You even have Fruits Basket, where again, the main male protagonists all have like some decent styling towards them. But then you have today's fucking trope of isekai protagonists that are bland and boring as hell. Like, they are just self-insert characters. So fucking depressing. On Camplaycast, we had this game, which was isekai or harem protagonist. And Nasuth noticed something that was really interesting, and it was all about the jawline to determine whether or not they were an isekai or harem protagonist.
All about that chin. It's all about that chin.
It's the chin. And like, seriously, just like go watch it. It was the first time we ever did a game on Camplaycast, and it was really, really good. But oh god, it was so fucking dumb. There was this generation of harem protagonists that were so oblivious of the fact that these girls like them. It's just like, what life are you living? How are you not noticing what's going on right now? I'm coming on to you. I'm just wearing a towel. I really like you. Yeah, I like you too as a friend. Like, how are you that dumb?
Is there any show that's widely regarded as awful that you have no regrets loving?
High School Double D, hands down. High School Double D. No, I know what I like. I like the redheads. I like the booba.
Power armors.
The power armors. The acknowledgement of the main protagonist wanting his harem. He knows what he wants. He has respect for the booba, and you know, he's a happy horny guy. You know, people try to judge me for it. No, you're wrong. I mean, what? People like Attack on Titan. You just like watching giant, weirdly malformed naked people. Touche. Whatever. Wow.
This one is just kind of a general question. Do you feel at a certain point in watching a show that even if it turns sour on you, you've already invested so much that you've just, you've got to see it through? Or are you Chad enough to drop it, like Goblin Slayer drops goblins?
Okay, so it really, really depends. I will definitely drop stuff if I'm not enjoying it. But if something is so trash, but Loz or yourself, Nasuth, are still watching it and saying it's absolutely fucking great, and I'm like, I will watch it just so I can neg on it to you and Loz. Just go like, why are you watching this shit? It's horrific. It is just bad. Why are you still watching this trash? That is why I will continue to watch this stuff.
But Xeno, I am atomic.
I am atomic.
Oh, fucking...
Right. I think after all that, we'll need a little bit of mind bleach to rinse the regret out.
Yep.
So, until next time, Mr. Xenogelion, you're dismissed from the court.
I feel like a character from some Western cartoon where I've got a rag and I'm just, you know, running it through my ears just to clean out my brain. Deep, deep regrets.